I should feel bad for saying this, but it's quite the relief now that the kids are gone. I could use a break. Mom? You doing okay?
Yes, dear.
Okay. I'm starving. Going to get something to eat close by. You want anything?
Hi, thank you for coming to StarNet Studios. I am Andre Tucker. Today I'm speaking with an actress who's done many other things besides acting. She has a lot of different social services and she's even worked in psychology. But right now she's focused on mastering her craft. She's done a lot of great work, and I've had the pleasure of watching some of the things she has done. Today I'm speaking to Miss Sandra Roque. How you doing today, Sandra?
Hi, I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. And one of
How
the
are
things I
you?
was mentioning, yeah, it's good to have you here. So I was mentioning that you are currently you were based in New York for a time, and as we've discussed, you are currently in New Jersey. But before all of that, you spent much of your career in Portugal. So tell me a little bit about your time in Portugal and how you started there, and some of the things you worked on before you decided it was time to head over to New York.
Well, I lived most of my life in Portugal. So
Hmm.
one fun fact is I was actually born in Angola. And I moved to Portugal when I was just a baby. So my
Yeah.
whole life was lived there. And so my academic training and my acting training, most of it happened there. And then there was a time in my life that I thought, you know what, I think I want to go to New York to just recycle artistically, just to go for a while. And I was coming for 6 months. And
Yeah.
then I met my now husband. I ended up staying for 2 years. They had given me a visa for 2 years, so I ended up using it all. And then, because of him, I eventually came back and we got married. And I, after 3.5 years of waiting for documents, I came. But my life in Portugal. So I basically, first I was a dancer. I
Yeah.
worked as a professional dancer for a long time, freelancing, doing lots of TV work, lots of live shows, all kinds of things. And then I started studying acting there. And I co-founded a theater company with one of my teachers, and we've created a group because we were interested in having our own place to develop, to do work every day, to work on our bodies, work on our voices, to do improv work, to experiment and expand our horizons as artists. So we created the company, we produced shows, did that a lot. I would also work on TV. I did a bunch of things on TV there. And then I came here, I did the HB Studio program
Mhm.
for 2 years, Hagen technique, and I've been here so far. All this time I keep doing training. I also trained at Matt Newton Studios here and in Portugal. Every time I go, I do something, and throughout all these years after I completed the school that I did there, I kept, acquiring tools. I see it as acquiring different tools, same as working in different means. So I did voiceover, I did theater, I did film, I did live shows of many sorts. So I did hosting. All those things for me are different tools and experiences that enrich you as an artist. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But here things are more focused. You kind of have to focus on this because there's
Yeah.
just so many people and the market is huge. So it's a different approach. Like there, I could play little kids, I could play male characters, I could play the devil, completely different things. Here you have to stay close to what you are, especially in film, right? And then you can kind of expand, unless you're producing your own work, which is something I also want to do.
Now, speaking of producing your own work, is one of the things that you mentioned there. You mentioned improv there. So, when you were doing some of your productions in Portugal, whether it be live or in front of a camera, were you doing some of your own original productions, like things that you and your people you work with, you collaborated with, came up with, or was it like what you would consider like established properties over there? What was it? What do you think?
We did both. So with the company, our that friend that I co-founded the company with, he's from Brazil, and he has an extensive knowledge of quite a few authors in Brazil, and he's specialized in one particular person, Nelson Rodrigues. I don't know if you've heard of him. Rodriguez, maybe how you pronounce it here. And so we did a lot of Nelson's plays. We did other Brazilian authors, and we created our own work, improv and not. One of my favorite shows never got made because of lack of funds, but we were so close. It was the thing about the seven sins, and the audience would walk with us through 7 different rooms. Each room was going to be one sin, and we worked on it for 6 months. But then, the producers were, what? We can only put in 150 people at the time. Not worth it, But that was really hard because we invested so much. But it was fun. The process was amazing. It benefited us a lot in the long run. Other shows that we actually did do, that was the only one that didn't get done. We had improv-based shows, and we had others that we ended up writing. We would work together for a while. We would, write some things and create something. Like we had a poetry show that was ordered, was asked for us to do. Sorry, my English sometimes City Hall asked us to do a show for the opening of this giant park in the city, and it was a park dedicated to poets. So there were like 20 poets, and each had their own little park area. And so we did a show there based on their poems, like performed poetry. So that was, all staged by us, and the research and everything was on the poems, and the work on the poems was, a process in itself. It was really cool. And so we had also not only Portuguese speaking authors, we would also get the rights from plays from elsewhere and do it.
So you gave a lot of different artists a chance to showcase their work as well. I see. So also with what you did over there, you've actually made quite an impact in the community. Like you've been able to teach and help other, like maybe some of the youth who were interested in coming up in the industry, and like with your teaching and giving them a chance to shine a little bit or discover what they want to do. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the company had several aspects to it. So we had the theater group, which is when we developed our own artistry and our shows. Then we had the courses, the workshops and things for others, which would be things that we offered ourselves, or we invited other teachers to come offer. And we had the social work. So within the teaching aspect, we would have for all ages, from little children, ages 5 and up, to seniors. We worked also with the community, with local seniors and all, or we would just have open registration, and people would register for those classes with different themes or different things. And then with the social work, the thing that happened was we would have, the mayor would ask us, would say, guys, because they already knew our work a little bit from other things, and they knew that we were pretty good with connecting with the community. It all started with the place that we were at. We told them, hey, there's all these people here. We could tell there was kind of a hot zone in that area. And there was a community center for youth. So we went there and we said, hey, we would like to come here, show this movie. I don't know if you've heard of City of God.
Yeah.
It was in the Oscars. It's
Mhm.
by a Brazilian director. And we knew one of the actors directors because we had invited him over to teach. And so we thought, with these kids, this is going to really impress them. So let's go there. We do a screening of the movie. Lots of them haven't seen it for sure, and they're going to connect with some of these things. And then we can talk about it. We can talk about what Guti, who was the one of the directors, actors, one of the on-set coaches, tell them things that he had shared with us about the experience and all that. And they were really hooked. And we said, guys, if you want to come, we're going to have an open class. Show up, come experiment with us. And they really liked it. So we created this class for the teens in that neighborhood, and City Hall loved the result of that. So they would invite us, can you go do kind of the same thing over there? Because we have a bomb in our hands over there. Can you do anything there? So they gave us a space in the community, and we did. And in this first area, we worked not only with teens, but also with kids. And we kind of became their families in a way. Some of these kids were out on the street all day. I remember once a 5-year-old, his sister was asking about him. Oh, have you seen him? He hasn't come sleep at home last night. And he was like 5. And his parents were just, I don't know, he's around, So it's this kind of, because these people would have to work really hard and be out of the house sometimes at night. They have worked night shifts and stuff. So the kids kind of saw us as part of their structure, which was very gratifying. Sometimes I'd have like 2 kids climbing up my body. Oh, Sandra.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandra here. I just want to go say hello. That's really heartwarming, and it also allowed us to have an impact, because if they connect to us, they connect to what we're trying to tell them. And that also worked not like that. I never had teenagers climbing up my legs, but they listened to us. And some of the most gratifying experiences, I mean, years later, one of the kids, who's now a man with his own kids, sent me a message on Facebook, Sandra, this to the woman who has no idea how she changed my life. And I really didn't, but things like that, like you changed my life. And oh, wow. So it wasn't me, it was the whole team, the work we did there. So we had these classes for them, but we also had many activities where we would all be working together. We would invite them, do you want to help in this project? So they would be useful, and they would be learning something else that is different from the environment that they were used to, the experiences they were used to, and they were interacting with people that looked differently than they did and that had different experiences. And then we would talk about our experiences. So that kind of, it wasn't like, it was, we all had a very clear perception that, yes, we come from different backgrounds and we're trying to work together. We're not going to make a big deal out of it. Let's just have fun and create something together. And I think that was what made the difference. It was
and that is great that you've made a difference, and you've served as an influential figure to many of those people over there because and there's good reason for that. I mean, because like you said, I mean, you've had a lot of different things going on. You know, you the stage, and you know, you've been in front of the camera, and you know, movies, and I know some commercials that you did as well. And overall, I mean, you do have a pretty large toolbox in front of you because you know, you have the psychology degree. When I was looking at some of your photos, you know, there was, you know, a couple that caught my attention. This is probably a modeling photo. I don't know if it had to do with a film, but there was one where you have a submachine gun, and there's a like an armored vehicle in the background. So you have, you know, that you know, but like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably a more of a modeling experience. I don't know if it's attached to a film, but then also, and then another one that caught my attention was a martial arts photo where you're doing a very high kick. So whatever's going on with there, clearly you have some kind of skill set there as well. So you have all these different things that are that you have from your background. Now you have brought them to New York and New Jersey. So what would be some of the differences that you would feel? I mean, you mentioned something, you know, I think you mentioned something a few moments ago about, you know, like competition and things like that that are here, but are there any kind of other differences that kind of stand out to you or stood out to you once you came over to like New York and New Jersey
I think
between
that,
Portugal?
yeah, I think the biggest difference was I was used to playing all sorts of characters, especially because in theater you have, in your own company, you can create that for yourself. And then when I if I think about it, I guess when I did TV work, it wasn't that different from what the experience is here. But but I didn't realize it, I guess, because I was able to do all the other things with the company. So when I come here and people start talking about type, what's your type? I'm what do you mean my type? I'm an actress. I play anything. And that's one of the worst things you can tell anybody in the industry. They will know right from the get-go that you're a rookie, because if you've spent any time doing any research, you know that people talk about that and there's a focus. And then I understood why, because precisely there's just so many people that if you want to give yourself the best head start possible by doing something that's very close to your essence, so they get to know who you are. But then if you do work on yourself and you have expanded your range of roles you can play, eventually you'll have the opportunity, even if you have to create it for yourself, to show what else you can do. So I'm fortunate to already have had the opportunity to do so many different things. Unfortunately, I don't have it all on camera, so I can't show everything. But you know, oh, another huge difference: people here are not used to reading subtitles. So my husband was so surprised when he went to Portugal for the first time. He was like, "But everything is in English." I said, "Yeah. Why do you think we all speak English so well? Because we grow up listening to American movies, and you know, if something is English from whatever country, or if it's Italian, we also watch lots of Italian things, and even cartoons when you're a kid, they'll be subtitled, not dubbed. Now there's more dubbed. I guess we're getting that influence. They'll be subtitled, so you get your ears get used to listening to other sounds, and you pick up faster. And kids want to learn how to read because they want to understand the cartoons better. So that bringing the conversation back to my work, if I want to put up a reel with subtitles, people go, I don't know if I want to see that. You know, others say, no, of course, because I can still see your work. It doesn't matter. Even if I don't understand what you're saying, I see what's going on. So that really is on a person basis. Some people will be very open to that, others not. But as far as the work, and I don't know if I've answered your question. So mostly the type thing having to be more focused on a market. So I want to basically focus on camera work.
Yeah.
Of course, I had an invitation to play a lead in a play. I took it. I thought there was a project I wanted to be involved with, and I did it. But I wasn't looking for it. It came to me. So I keep my focus on this for now.
Yeah.
And you have to get yourself be known to casting directors before you have a chance of even looking for representation, because otherwise that representative of yours is not going to have an opportunity to get you in the room if nobody knows who you are. So all that process, I had to learn all that from the beginning. I read a bunch of books. I spent my first year doing research. How does it work here? Because what I used to say was, okay, first thing I'm going to do when I get there, I'm going to get an agent, and then we're going to go. Yeah, right.
Right.
That easy. It doesn't work like that. So
You wanted to prepare. Yeah.
Yeah, the process in itself was a thing to learn, the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, you certainly took a strategic approach to it, and I can see that that's worked for you in the past, and I can very much see it working in your future as well. So with all of that, you clearly have a very wide body of work and versatile talents and things like that. So if someone wants to take a look and, get a picture of your talents and take a look at, what you have going on, what would be the website that you would direct them to?
So it's Sandra Roque. That's my last name. ROQUE.com. It's a work in progress. There's lots of stuff that is going to change on the website soon, but it's going to be the same website. So
That
and
in
of course,
addition to all your social media,
you can find me on IMDb. I have an Instagram page, which is just a baby. I recently started it also, and I'm still getting used to to being there. And there's a Facebook page also, Sandra Roque, actress. Roque is ROQUE. You can find me pretty much on social. If you Google my name, it'll be.
Okay, well, looking out for that and seeing what you have going on next. I want to say thank you for coming. It was good to have you, and also very educational as far as learning about some of the things that's going on in Portugal. And I wish you much luck in New York and New Jersey.
Thank you so much. All the same to you.